I'm Tyler Taldone. I'm the head of solutions consulting at hireEZ. In my education, I was a software engineer, and I got my master's from Rice University in 2016. I've been at hireEZ for the past 3 years. I've always had a passion for recruiting. I used to work at our campus opportunity center doing career fairs and things like that, and it was just a natural next step in my career. So I still have the technical side, but it's been awesome being customer facing for these past 3 years. Two of them, I was on our enterprise customer success team, helping our new enterprise partners achieve success with hireEZ. And I would say a good third of our customer base is in the healthcare industry and some of the top names across the industry. So I'm really excited for this opportunity to create a video that explains what hireEZ is and how we're helping outbound recruiting for these healthcare organizations, and going into the specifics of what that workflow looks like. And we're going to start on the hireEZ dashboard. This is going to show the recent projects that you've been working on, the recent open roles that you're going to fill. Replies from candidates are here as well as the top of your inbox, and then other key functionality like importing candidates from a career fair or integrating your calendar for easy meetings and scheduling with them. We're going to focus on the sourcing and in the engagement side of hireEZ. You can start by hitting the sourcing button on the top. These are these AI-powered filters that I've been discussing on the left-hand side. Most users fill them out manually. You can also start by just uploading the job description, save that time manually filling out these filters, and also benefit from a better, more holistic email written by ChatGPT. And a lot of times, recruiters tell me, I had the perfect person, we had them, they had the offer letter, and then they ghosted me, or they went with someone else, right? So instead of starting back from square one, you can always upload a candidate's resume and we'll clone them and show you other candidates to help you pick the ball back up and get rolling. But in this case, we'll do a manual registered nurse search. It's like Google. We use natural language processing to autocomplete what you're looking for. We'll start with the job title. We have about 4.5 million registered nurses in the world. We can narrow this down to the United States. Insert your specific niche location like Montana or North Dakota, right? I've helped recruiters find talent across America, and if there's not a specific candidate there, we can't invent them, but we have other ways of attracting talent from other locations. So cool. Across the United States, we have around 2.5 million registered nurses. Up at the top here, this is one of the more unique aspects of hireEZ, is that we can rediscover the registered nurses that are already in your ATS. Some of them you've hired, great, we'll help you know who's currently working at your organization, who made it to the offer letter but ghosted or declined, who made it to that first phone interview, and more. So I always encourage teams to start with the ATS candidates because they have a 50% higher response rate. You know exactly what's happened with them in the past. Once you're done looking through the candidates that are already in your ATS, we'll start showing you these registered nurses, right? They're currently being ranked as best match, unlike LinkedIn where it's based on activity. So we're just trying to show you, hey, we believe that Elaine here is likely to respond and likely to be a fit for what you've picked out so far. We're going to keep learning from you based on whether or not they're a good fit and someone that you want to reach out to. Once you give them the thumbs up, that's when they start leaving your search results and moving into the fit stage. And if they're not a fit, you can tell us why, right? And we're constantly going to be learning from who you like and who you don't like to give you the best matches at the top of your search results. As we're scrolling down the filters here on the left, a big reason why many organizations choose us, and talking about HR Tech, we won the Best Diversity Enabling Software at HR Tech last year. I hope we win it again this year, but you can find candidates from different diverse backgrounds and even layer this on top of each other. For example, finding African-American woman. But what I wanted to spend the most time on is our healthcare tab specifically. This is going to double down on hireEZ's value for your team in two ways. One, you're going to find candidates that you haven't seen before, right? If I check off this box, we lost about half of our candidate pool, but every one that you see here is going to have information coming from these different healthcare sites, right? So we see NPPS, HealthGrade, ZocDoc, information scattered across Google and Bing. All of these links are clickable, so you can actually see where we're getting this information. But the bottom line is we don't see a LinkedIn logo here. These candidates are not on LinkedIn, and we're helping you find them and surface them to the top. The other benefit of this is that I hear, especially in the healthcare space, some candidate, because LinkedIn, anyone can edit. Like I can go to LinkedIn right now and put in CPR as a skill, but not actually know how to save someone's life. These are verified healthcare sites. And so the candidates are who they say they are. You're not wasting time chasing down someone who presents themselves one way on the internet, but actually is lacking the skills or the certifications that you need. So beyond just checking the box and finding those new candidates that are validated, we have 700 different specialties that you can choose from in this specialties dropdown. I'd recommend typing rather than searching through that list of 700. License states to make sure that they can fulfill the role that you need, and then validated certifications to make sure that they are who they say they are. So these will be more relevant when we go to our more nuanced search, but I always encourage teams to check off that box just to see some fresh faces. And not only are they fresh faces, that means that they're not being as targeted by other healthcare recruiters, and they're going to be more likely to respond. So I do strongly encourage using our healthcare filter and applying that. Whether it's skills, experience, a specific keyword in their profile, what company or industry they're coming from. Because I talked about this in the nuanced approach, education can be very important, ensuring they have their bachelor's degree, that they majored in nursing, that they are currently in a nursing school. You can build a whole list of different schools that you have a relationship and want to recruit from, and use that as a way to either have more effective career fairs or start building your relationship while they're in school or just about to graduate using this year of graduation filter. My sister is a doctor in Miami, so languages can definitely be important. Are they bilingual? Can they help support the local population in the area? And then if you are looking for doctors who are on the cutting edge of a certain field, this Scholar tab has the same advantage of our healthcare tab. Are they going to have publications or patents in a specific area? You can look by topic, you can look by keyword. But bottom line is, whether you're using these filters on the left-hand side, reviewing these candidates individually, right? We have 1 million. That's way too many to sift through individually. You can always press the analytics button to understand what does that 1 million candidates look like, and how do I want to make data-driven decisions about how to narrow this down further, whether that's based off of current title, and it's taking a second to load because 1 million candidates is a lot of data to process. But it's going to show you different charts about what does the available market look like, and it's very simple. Hey, I only want current registered nurses. I will click this blue bar and drill into that portion of the population. So whether it's using the filters on the left or the analytics on the right, continue to narrow down your population pool. Again, healthcare, registered nurses, it's a high volume approach. So let's say that during the course of your day, you find 200 good fits of people that you want to reach out to. Right? You can very quickly then deliver emails to each one of these candidates individually by selecting them all and pressing engage. And this is where that GPT AI integration comes in and really is transforming the organizations that I work with. Instead of that blank page, we have a pre-written email by GPT. It is really great. It talks about the role, the responsibilities, the expectations, and it ultimately ends in a very powerful question. Are you interested in this opportunity? If yes, let's book time. Let's get that meeting scheduled. I've seen other organizations just put the click to apply here link. You can also let us know if you're not interested, and so that I can spend my time with other potential candidates, or maybe it's a contact later and we can continue to work on our relationship and build it towards the past. If they respond to this email, fantastic. You're going to get that email at the top of your inbox. If they click the button and schedule time, you'll get it booked on your calendar. And I anticipate from this single email to get about 7 or 8% of these 200 candidates to reply back. That number doubles when we're talking about the second follow-up email. It goes from about 7% to about 14% reply rate just by sending a quick follow-up email. It takes into context like, hey, I'm following up on my previous email. It's going to go out at the time of your decision, right? You can say, I don't want to send it out on Thursday. I'll wait until Sunday to deliver this email when they have some time and are dreading, coming back to work on Monday. So you can completely customize how many steps you reach out to the candidate for and when those deliver, but it goes to each of these candidates individually and is a more effective channel than LinkedIn, because nurses specifically are on their phone all day. They're going to look at this email, They're going to see a very nice, easy click button if you're interested, and then you can take the conversation from there. Just highlighting what the rest of the workflow would look like. Those 200 good fit candidates would automatically move into the contacted stage. Each one of these 200 candidates would receive that unique email from you, personalized with their name, their location, their title, any of the different variables that you'd like to use to personalize your messaging. When you get that reply, it's coming to the top of your inbox, as well as hireEZ. They'll automatically move into this stage. And if they book time with you, that'll show up on your calendar, as well as move automatically to this stage within hireEZ. We can host additional stages from here, but it's very easy to move them out of hireEZ and into your ATS or CRM with the export functionality. All the different data points that hireEZ has collected on this candidate will naturally map to the different fields in your ATS, and we'll make sure that that's successful during implementation. So that's an example of how you can very quickly start a project for a registered nurse, come up with 200 good fits, and then engage them and move them all the way through the initial phone screen and getting them back into your ATS. We'll do another example for a more nuanced role, right? If we're sourcing for a specific role, like director of ambulatory care, it's more nuanced, right? There's about 18,000 scattered across the world. In this specific example, I was working with ChenMed in Florida, so I will search Miami, right? You can do the entire country, a certain state, specific cities, a general area like this, and we're winding up with a pool of 173 candidates. When I initially ran the search, they were impressed at that number because they had been looking for this role desperately for many months, and we're excited to see nearly double the amount of candidates in these results because hireEZ is searching those other 15 healthcare sites all at the same time. The other aspect of this that they leveraged was the healthcare filter to validate these different sites on where the candidates are coming from, and they even put a specific specialty, right? I don't recall exactly what specialty, but it was one of these different 700 aspects, and they wanted to narrow it down even further to find the perfect candidate, because they know once they find that perfect candidate, hireEZ has the ability to automate messages to them, keep that relationship going so that they can build it over time and ultimately have the perfect person at the perfect time. Other areas that they can leverage is making sure that they're licensed in Florida, for example, or have a certain certification like CPR or BLS. We're chopping it down even further, but in this specific use case, they did want to go beyond and find doctors that are not only practicing, but accomplished academically. And they checked off this scholar filter, and they made sure, I believe the keyword that they were looking for was like cancer, right, in one of their publications or patents. So it's just a way to find these two perfect candidates that are exactly what they're looking for, right? And then we have not only their email, but their phone number, as well as the ability to leverage LinkedIn as a channel of communication, right? Since it's such a narrow field of who they're looking for, they need to use all the different channels available to them to build that relationship and convince them of the value of joining their team. So in this case, right, when we look at Emily, that was just the preview, right? We have their summary statement, we have their contact information, we have overview of their background and experience and skills, and then we get into the projects and the publications and where we found those specific keywords. So there's a lot of information pulled from all those different sites contained here in one easy to read profile, so that you can feel really good about saying, yes, Emily is that perfect person that we're looking for. And then we'll show you the other candidate as well, right? So we have these two good fits where we want to reach out to both of them. And when we go to engage, yes, the AI is going to write our email for us, but this takes a more nuanced approach, right? We're going to want to write this from scratch. We're going to want to reference all that research that we did. We see their publication, we see what they're passionate about. We can inject that into the email. And not only are we going to send 3 emails to this candidate, we want to build this relationship over time. So maybe I send those first 3 emails quickly, and then I send another one wishing them a happy new year and seeing if, as they were wishing and hoping for the new year, if they've made any changes about their current position, right? So you can add these follow-up steps to play out throughout the course of the year so that when the timing's right, you can connect that perfect person with the perfect opportunity. The last thing that I wanted to showcase is insights, which we talked about. That's the classic workflow for sourcing, but insights is a great way both to understand the competitive market as well as the titles and the availability of what you're looking for. If we did something as simple as like Kaiser Permanente, right? They have a ton of subsidiaries, they have locations all across the Western United States. We can generate insights on them. And even if I'm a recruiter looking for registered nurses, this helps me learn a lot about either my competitors or the market in general. We see how big they are, the inflow and outflow of their employees, where their hubs are across the United States, and where what locations are growing, what locations are shrinking, who are they hiring talent from and losing talent to. And while there's a lot of information on insights across all of these different tabs, my favorite part about insights is it's not just data in terms of where are these employees, who's hiring them, what are they getting paid, how quickly do they leave, is there internal promotions. There's real candidates behind the data, so that if you wanted to look at the 66 candidates that Kaiser Permanente gained from Providence Health, you can click that listing right here and you can see every single one of those different candidates. Maybe one of these is a fit for one of those roles that we were looking for. You can add them to the hireEZ projects so that you can easily engage them. So I just wanted to showcase insights both as a way to understand the available market and then ultimately transform that into real candidates that you can then engage and place in roles. And to me, that is the core way that most healthcare recruiters use our platform.